In 1979, with the runways officially dead, each of the members stepped out of the wreckage with the intention of starting something new. Joan Jett was only 20 years old, but she had a dream that she wasn't about to let go of. This is the story of Joan Jett and Bad Reputation. At first, Joan tried to do what a lot of artists before her, especially one of her biggest influences, Suzi Quatro, had done, and took off to the UK in hopes of getting famous. She jumped right into the punk scene, which unfortunately was in its final stages of life in 1979, and she even made some early demos with Steve Jones and Paul Cook of the Sex Pistols, who were in the middle of imploding in their own epic way. The underground music communities loved her, but the mainstream dismissed her as an annoying little girl who wouldn't go away. It quickly became clear to her that England was not the place it was going to happen, and she got on a plane back to New York by the fall of that year. The tide turned when she met Kenny Laguna, a producer and a songwriter who was known for his work in the 60s with bubblegum bands, and at one time he almost worked with the Runaways. The two of them were kind of an odd pairing, but it really worked. What they created together would be the album that would become Bad Reputation. It was kind of a Frankenstein of demos, leftovers, and new takes on older songs. It was loud and fast and full of attitude, and the mainstream labels absolutely hated it. Joan reportedly went to 23 different labels, who all turned her down. So with no label backing, they were forced to finance the production of the album on their own. So they hit the road, sold records out of the trunk of their car, hustled for airplay on college stations, and talked their way onto stages at venues in any city they could, due to the underground success of the album, which was buzzing like crazy in 1980, and their continued inability to get a contract with any major record label. They decided to found Blackheart Records, which was one of the very first indie record labels owned by an artist, and absolutely the first for women in rock and roll. Joan just absolutely refused to not get famous. She believed in herself and her music so strongly that she never gave up, she never stopped pushing. But she has also stated that she owes a lot to Kenny Laguna, who saw something in her when no one else did. Bad Reputation didn't exactly storm the album charts, but it spoke to punks and misfits and tough girls with guitars in a powerful way, because Joan Jett understood something about young women that was incredibly important in this new generation. They were specifically defiant of the expectations and standards that were set out for them. This was a new age, and Joan Jett spoke to that sense of rebellion and the desire to be free and independent. She was part of the beginning of a permanent change in rock and roll, one that was more welcoming, more inclusive, not just for herself, but for a long list of iconic women in rock and all its subgenres.